Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And Marvel stans are big mad. They're big mad because they think it's a desperate ploy to bring Steve Rogers back, and they think it's disrespectful to Sam Wilson that he's going to come back as Captain America. And how very dare you give him the shield and then take it back, you privileged white man.
Hey, listen, I think it's it was always disrespectful that they made up characters to both the group people that they're representing and the fans that were basically just replacements that were gender swaps, lazy gender swaps, or lazy race swaps to try to move Marvel forward. And the movies have done absolute crap since Avengers and stuff like that, other than Spider-Man and maybe like Deadpool, Wolverine. So many D's. Yes, I get the joke.
There's so many D's in Marvel.
Since then, they haven't done really well.
No. So this is what it's about, guys. Let's be real here. Captain America 4 was a box office disappointment. I'll be generous. I'll call it a disappointment. And you can like the movie. That's great if you like the movie, but it did not perform.
No, it lost like $150 million.
Yes. And a lot of that, let's be real, is people view Steve Rogers as being Captain America and Sam Wilson was the sidekick. I mean, that's just it. And yes, I understand in the comics, I do fully understand in the comics that he has taken on the mantle of Captain America.
Yes, and you've said that before. You've mentioned it before, like when they picked him, you said, well, actually, there's comics to back that up. But that doesn't mean that the audience has accepted it. Nor does it mean that if they have Steve Rogers, that Sam Wilson's going to be gone too. We don't know that.
Right. And you have to realize when you're dealing with normies, especially, they're not as accepting of temporary replacements or whatever, because they're looking at like, oh, okay, well, Steve Rogers is gone and they got this other guy in, and oh, here we go again, Plus, it was coming off of a Disney Plus show. It's like we've got Foul Cap at home. Right.
A lot of people didn't even watch the show, so they didn't even know what the flip was going on.
Well, so there's a rumor. I don't know how it's going to play out for Doomsday, but there's a rumor they're basically going to ignore all the Disney Plus shows because and just kind of like continue off of the end of Endgame, because it really did make things very, very convoluted. And a big part of why people aren't going to the theater to watch the Marvel movies now is that they're basically shows on the big screen, and that's a lot of homework, right? How many episodes of a Disney Plus show do you have to watch to do your homework to watch Doctor Strange 2?
Well, yeah, and that's what they did for the longest time. They doubled down on you had to watch the show to know what was going on in the movie to try to get people to subscribe and watch the stuff. But all it did was just make people mad. Like, I'll watch the movie. If there's other stuff, I don't care.
So we're gonna take a look at this. People are not happy about them erasing Sam's Captain America. Look, nothing is permanent in Marvel, whether it's the comics or the movies or whatever. I mean, they've already erased all stakes in the Marvel universe because we can just start up another timeline or travel back in time or bring somebody back from the dead. There are no stakes.
Except for Black Widow.
Black Widow. She's dead.
But like, we don't know yet though. I mean, we don't know if Sam's going to be stepped over, if he's going to be in it, or not. We don't know.
He's going to be in it, but they're going to, they'll have like two caps. They'll do cap on cap action. I think they were thinking this is going to go down like Miles Morales Spider-Man, but I think the difference is Miles Morales, they introduced him both in the comics and in the movies as his own character.
Own thing. Yes, he
was
always his own thing.
Yeah, Peter Parker was already dead at that point. The problem with Falcon, I think, for a lot of people was he's his own separate sidekick superhero character, and now
he doesn't even have powers or anything. He's like, I mean, it's near to Black Widow, but I mean, he was just like, he never had the serum or anything, but he's supposed to like have all this, he's supposed to like be defeating all these people. You're supposed to believe it.
He's got his moxie in his wings. So we'll talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Go out to more.clownfishtv.com. Help support the channel. We're going to be ramping up podcasts over there going into 2026. So thank you very much for all of that. This is coming from IGN again. Avengers Doomsday trailer reaction divided over desperate decision to bring back Chris Evans, as fans say move is disrespectful to Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson. He said he wasn't coming back, but money talks, right? So it said, yeah, Marvel's decision to reintroduce Chris Evans' character of Steve Rogers in Doomsday has prompted backlash online, with many fans criticizing the move as a desperate attempt to win back audiences.
Well, I don't disagree. I mean, I think that's exactly what it is.
So throwing $200 million at Robert Downey Jr. was desperate to have him play Doctor Doom.
Well, that's all this is. It's not working. They're losing money. Their movies keep not bringing it. I mean, Fantastic Four didn't even do great. And so now they're like, okay, what do we need to do to bring people? And it's like this. And they're talking now there's probably going to be more Wolverine and Deadpool stuff and that too, probably.
Probably. Because
those are what brought people in. And that's what they're going to do. What do people want to see? We'll go back to doing that. And so is it a desperate attempt? I 100% think it's a desperate attempt. Just like running the trailers for it, one a week at Avatar is also a desperate attempt to try to get American people and the North American box office to be bigger, because it's all overseas that's carrying it.
Yeah, it's crazy. But they says disrespectful to Sam Wilson. Well, what's disrespectful is the box office. Was it good?
People aren't going to go see it. You can scream racism or whatever all you want. People didn't go see it. They didn't watch it. I still haven't seen it. Oh, that's not true. I saw like 20 minutes of it, and I turned it off because I was like, this is boring.
What's interesting about this is they tried to say the Steve Rogers trailer was fake, and it's hard to tell now with AI, but yeah, it turned out to be real. For those of you who haven't seen the trailer, it looks like a Netflix drama or something. It doesn't even look like an Avengers trailer, but it's just like 30 seconds of Chris Evans and a baby. That's what it is.
There's like other things, but yeah, the baby's at the end. Yeah. So the whole thing, I don't know.
So here we go. Here are some of the tweets here.
But we don't know how long Chris Evans is going to be in it. Like the rumors are he's going to be leading it and stuff. We don't know that.
I think if my understanding of what's going on is correct, him deciding to have his own personal life, again, spoilers for Endgame, but he went back and he decided to have a life with Peggy, but he altered the timeline, and that is what potentially caused the multiverse to happen, and is why all the incursions and everything are happening. So it's his fault, because he wanted to get some. Yeah, it's everybody else had to suffer. So then in that way, it's going to be like, oh, look, the selfish white man decided he was going to do what was best for him and fucked it up for everybody else. The MCU just keeps on disrespecting Sam Wilson, and I am tired. It feels like Marvel is belittling Sam Wilson's efforts to prove himself worthy of the shield Steve passed on to him. Added another.
It's not fair, because he still have to prove himself worthy of the hand-me-down.
The hand-me-down.
That's basically what he just said.
All I have to say about Avengers Doomsday is I will not tolerate the Sam Wilson disrespect. Add another. What's the point? That whole ass movie about exactly this scenario, only for them to bring back Steve anyway. Remember what happened with New Coke? I'm just saying, like, oh yeah, New Coke is the best. They did all marketing. They tried to, again, we didn't use the term gaslighting very, very often back then, but they tried to gaslight people into believing that New Coke was just as good as classic Coke, and it was not. And people rejected it, and it had to be a you problem, because everybody's drinking New Coke.
But you know what? You can't scream racism with New Coke.
Well, Bill Cosby was promoting it.
I'm just saying though, because this is going to be, now they're going to make it all about racism, but I don't think it has anything to do with racism. I think it has to do with the fact that people knew Steve Rogers for years and years and years and years and years. You have he was Falcon, Sam Wilson was Falcon. And now a lot of people just only watch the movies. They don't watch the shows. You make this whole thing where he's going to be, the new Captain America, and nobody cares. But I think it's also because everybody just moved on from Marvel, and frankly, nobody cares. And the only way they're going to get people back is if they give them what they used to like. And, that's what they're trying to do. And is it desperate? Yes. But that's what they're trying to do.
It's very desperate. It's going to be... These movies are going to be the biggest cameo fest. They're going to, try to go back to what works. They're going to have callbacks. They've got, freaking bringing the X-Men in. My understanding is the X-Men are actually going to be like the 90s team, which, again, everybody actually likes. I'm sure they'll fuck it up somehow. But they have gotten away from whatever the hell Victoria Alonso was thinking. Like, they were going to do like, oh, yeah, we're not going to call them the X-Men anymore.
But she thinks?
Yeah, well, she probably thinks a lot about all the mistakes she made. Yeah, but they're
No, she just probably thinks about how to blame all the dudes.
blame the dudes. Yeah, they're just going back to formula, right? They're going back to classic Coke. I don't know if it's going to work though. That's, I'm torn on this because part of me is like, well, I think people want to like Marvel and Star Wars again, but you got to give them a reason to like it again. But then part of me is like, it's been so damn long, and there's been so much subpar Marvel and Star
burnout
Wars
is real. I think it's like a fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, or shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. And I think that's where it's at. People just like, they're tired of like the bait and switch. They're tired of like, okay, I'm gonna get excited, like Mandalorian. Okay, this is good. First season, okay. Second season,
Yeah.
yes. Third season, what the hell? And now the movie, I don't think anybody cares about. And that's like Marvel. It was just like you got through the first 10-year plan, which was given to them. Great, it was fantastic. But then they got to the phase 4, and then it became like what the Gary says, the MCU, and it became that. And then moving forward, and people were just like, "What is this?" And then each movie just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And now we got a little uptick last year, but even then, most of them like either broke even or lost money.
What they did is they borrowed a play from the playbook that failed miserably for Marvel Comics, and they replaced everybody. Right. Mm-hmm. And they thought that was going to work. Again, this is a very Igeristic thought process, right? I can just slap the Marvel name on something. The brand is enough to get people into the theater. And that's not the case. We've seen this. Even, like you said, Fantastic Four, I actually liked it quite a bit, but it didn't make that much money. I mean, it didn't.
No.
And that, people didn't like it. Some people absolutely hated it, and that's fair. You can think the movie is an absolute piece of dog shit, and you're entitled to your opinion. At the end of the day, all that matters to these suits is how much money they make. And I think they honestly thought Fantastic Four was going to be like an $800 to $1 billion movie, and that's the lead into Doomsday, and nobody gave a shit.
Well, I was looking here to see how much money they lost. So last year, like in 2024, they would have lost money, but because Deadpool did and Wolverine did so well, it offset it. But then this year, they said they're underperforming Captain America: Brave New World, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four: First Steps. Yeah. It has a 24.9% decline in domestic and 44.9% in the global box office is what's been happening. And they said, some of them maybe broke even, but they barely eked out any profit. And the only one I could think of that might have maybe barely broke even would have been like Fantastic Four. So they're going to be in the hole again this year. And it's just nobody, they don't care. They're not going because they don't care. And they're trying to use, characters you liked, come back. It has nothing to do with replacing him because of a racism issue or anything. It's more to do about we got to get butts in the seats.
Yeah. Yeah.
It didn't help that, Anthony Mackie was it to Italy and made the comments he made?
Oh, yeah, about America not being
that didn't help.
Yeah. Yep. Here we go. This person says the Disney is racist campaign has officially started.
Yep, here it goes.
This person says this division is invented. Fans are unanimously thrilled to see him return, which, by the way, was always a plan. Endgame was a set for Doomsday and Secret War. No, they didn't have a plan. They were going to do Kang. They're going to do Kang Dynasty.
And then that didn't work because, that situation.
Obvious issues there, right? So my thing is, like, if they're going to say that people didn't go see Captain America 4 because of Anthony Mackie and they're racist or whatever, I'm like, I guarantee you, if you did a Blade movie with Wesley Snipes, it would make bank.
Oh, my gosh. There's a new toy coming out. Like, they're doing, like, Deadpool and Wolverine toys.
Yeah.
And they have the Wesley Snipes from the movie. And I guarantee you that one's going to be hard to get. Because if you gave me a whole movie of him, like how it was in that movie, I would have gone.
Yeah. No, I think that would have been the smartest thing to do. But
you can't use the term smartest when it involves Disney and Marvel and Star Wars. Clearly, they're not the smartest. They're using like The Last Jedi as a how to not do a movie in schools and stuff.
Yeah, this person here said a lot of these new heroes had a bad transition into the spotlight. It's not even that they weren't good characters. It's very apparent now that Marvel didn't know what made them great leading up to Endgame. It had nothing to do with the new characters being POC or women. It's because they put out too much content and they did not focus on building up these new characters.
Okay. Yes and no, because the characters were obvious replacements for white people.
The replacement characters, yeah, that's what Marvel now. I think some of the characters maybe would have worked better if they had some more build-up, but you were asking the audience to accept. They know who Captain America is. They know who Hulk is. They know who all these other characters are, and then you're just like, oh no, we're just gonna replace them all, and then
No,
it's like,
okay, Sam Wilson's gonna replace Captain America. You got who else? We got Hawkeye got replaced by
oh yeah, Kate Bishop.
Kate Bishop. You Hulk, She-Hulk, and et cetera, et cetera. It was across the board. Thor was going to be Jane Foster, but then we know what happened to her in the movie. But you know what I'm saying? They just kept trying to replace them with female or race swap versions of the characters, and it was peak 2018, idiocy. 2019.
Well, in 2017, you can trace back the shattering, I think, of Marvel Comics with the Marvel Now. I think it was 2015 when it came out.
Well, it was back even further, but I'm saying theatrically.
And everybody was like, okay, let's just not do, and they had to walk that back after a couple of years. And everybody's like, let's just not do that in the movies because you got a good thing going. And they literally did it. They put characters front and center like America Chavez that were not that. I mean, she was better when she first came out in the comics, but like these were way new characters that nobody gave a shit about, and they're trying to peddle. How many times
did Ms. Marvel fail and they rebooted it?
Yeah, so they're like, let's give her a show. Let's give her a game. Let's give her a game.
I like the actress who plays her. I think she's a sweetheart. She's adorable.
Yeah, she's cool.
But it didn't stick because people are like, what the hell is this? Like, no matter how many times you try to make it stick, it's not going to stick. And it is what it is.
This person here says Steve's coming back as Steve. He's not going to be Captain America. Sam Wilson's Captain America. I don't know about that.
We don't know. Like I said, we don't know yet.
We don't know, but
that's why I keep saying we don't know. How the dynamic's going to play out. We haven't seen it yet. There's rumors, but until it comes out, they're just rumors.
He will be Captain America at some point because they're going to have the big Secret Wars throwdown, and he's going to say Avengers Assemble, but he's going to do it the right way and actually full volume the whole thing, and we're going to have every damn Marvel character ever made in one big ass scene, and it's going to look like a cover of like a George Perez comic or something. It's going to be nuts. And that's
we did that already.
But we're going to do it again, and we're going to do it bigger. That's what they're going to do.
It's not the Death Star. It's a Star Killer.
Exactly. That's exactly what they're going to go for. So the ending of Secret Wars is going to be like 10 kajillion thousand, all the variants of all the Spider-Men, all the Captain Americas, they're all going to be in one place for the biggest effing scene in the history of Marvel, just so they can say they did. Like, look, there's like 10,000 characters on screen at one time. We killed our VFX. No, we didn't kill our VFX artists. We replaced them all with AI. So
right. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm still excited though. The scene where he gets the hammer though, that was awesome.
That was cool.
I still like that scene. I still get excited when I think about that scene. I was like, yes.
Many fans are stupid. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they're dumb enough to use the same marketing bullshit that they use to try to guilt people into watching the Disney Plus shows by calling them racist and Nazis and bigots and homophobes, then they really are lost.
I don't think that they're going to, because it's already bit them in the ass so many times. But the Disney Plus shows, like with Willow, with all this stuff, where they tried to like shove agenda in there and then use it as, instead of making good characters, just making it all about agenda. They've tried that, and it just bit them in the butt. Now that doesn't say that there are characters that are diverse that aren't good characters, because there are. What I'm saying is they focus more on using it as a way to like deflect criticism than they do to like actually worry about making the characters good characters that happen to be whatever identifier.
Yeah,
so
they'll probably both be Captain America.
Which is fine. I mean, they keep saying that he's going to be shut out. We don't know.
No, I don't think so. They're just mad that it kind of takes from him to. No, they'll do that, and they'll have multiple Spider-Men, and they'll do the whole thing. They'll have Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine running alongside Hugh Jackman's Wolverine or some crazy shit. Just
Daniel Radcliffe's Wolverine.
An actual properly sized Wolverine. They'll have all the variant Wolverines from the Deadpool movie.
Short guy.
Get the short. Well, yeah. We'll put him in the brown suit from the 80s. John Bernstein.
I mean, it's probably going to be a case that, and we don't know yet what's going on. So I think it's premature to be like, it's because of racism and they're getting. We don't know. We just know that he's coming back, and they said Steve Rogers will return. They didn't say as Captain America. They said Steve Rogers will return. We don't know. what's
God,
going to
they'll-
happen. There's lots
well,
of rumors and hearsay, but we don't know.
They're making Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom. Maybe they'll make Steve Rogers like Zemo or something. I don't know. Well, they had it. They had him in there.
They did.
Drowned him or something. Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah. Let's just wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Talk later.
Bye.